My wife and my brother used to sleep together back in college and I've just learned about this yesterday. What should I do? English is not my first language, so excuse me for any mishaps. Also, all names are fake. My wife and I have been together since 2010 and we've been married since 2014, we have a 4-year-old daughter together. I always thought that we had a good marriage, especially compared to the other couples around us. Back to the issue, I work in the HR of a consulting firm and yesterday we were interviewing some people for job applications. One of the applicants turned out to be a friend of my brother, Dave, that I used to talk when they visited our house during my last year at high school but haven't seen since. We talked during a break and one point Dave started talking about my brother's exploits during college. There was this girl Clara that my brother had a huge crush on during college and I asked him about Jimmy and Clara. He told me about that one time Clara rejected him so hard that he took a Viagra, had sex with his FWB Nika for hours in order to forget Clara's rejection and got caught by him and his then GF. I got baffled at first because that's my wife's name and Nika and Jimmy indeed went to the same college close to our hometown. I asked him about Nika's surname and showed him a lone picture of her with my phone. The friend confirmed this was indeed the same Nika. While talking I asked the friend when did they stop sleeping together and he said as far as he knew they did not stop until Jimmy graduated. I politely ended the conversation after talking 5 minutes more or so and went about my work. I did not expect my day would take such a downturn with this knowledge. My wife and I met in early 2010 at my cousin's birthday party, who attended the same college with Nika and Jimmy. As far as I knew Nika was a friend's friend in there and we hit off pretty well from the first moment. She told me she knew my brother in our first date and called him an absolute jerk, which something I agreed and we shared a laugh about it. It's 10 years later and I only learn about the reason she called him a jerk, from someone else. At this point my feelings are very weird and I don't know what to do. I feel misled by my wife and betrayed by my brother. Even though both my wife and I slept with other people we started dating, I feel like she lied by omission and thus our relationship was built upon a shaky ground. If I knew she was someone my brother had sex with, I would never start dating her and wouldn't have my angel daughter now, but also I would probably have a wife that did not sleep with one of my relatives for years. Speaking of relatives, my brother pretended he barely knew her when I told him first we were dating and only told me he saw her around the dorm. I thought we had a good relationship, we always catch up whenever we could even if he's living 3 hours away now with his 2 children. I don't know what to think. Naturally, I cannot talk about this with anyone I know right now because even my mother loves my wife more than she loves me, so they would all come to my wife's help. I will appreciate any opinion, advice and info about this from you. Thanks. I found out my brother's wife's son is mine. Not in the way you think, but I still need advice. Gonna say that there was absolutely no cheating involved at all. What happened was before my brother 27 and his wife 28 met. My brother and I are half-siblings BTW, we have the same mom just different dads, so obviously our last names are different. First did community college after high school graduation. In my second year I met Ally, brother's wife. She was the roommate of one of my friend's girlfriend, so we met a couple times. We hooked up at her place once and kept it going for a few months. It wasn't anything serious, just a short fling. Then after I basically dropped off the face of the earth for a while when my dad passed away. Literally I took off and went into full-on drifter, having an existential crisis for a while. No contact with anyone when I dropped from my classes. For some years after that my brother and me didn't have much contact except birthdays and stuff while I got my life together. We didn't have much before, but this was even less. Found out he got married a couple years ago. With COVID last year we started trying to have better contact and be in each other's lives. That involved meeting his wife, and I find out it's Ally. They became friends after he went to the same community college I did, and that's where they got to know each other. Ally found out I was his brother only a few months ago after he showed her a recent picture of me when we were first communicating. But she waited on telling him because she needed to talk to me first. She was trying to find me for months after I left, asking friends around because she found out she was pregnant and I was the father. She showed me pictures of my son and just that she tried hard to tell me because I had a right to know. But since I was gone she couldn't find any way to reach out. It made me feel some kind of way looking at him, but I wanted a paternity test just to be completely sure he's actually mine. Ally was completely cool about that. She understood why since it was long time ago and we were both dumb college kids. Well, we did the test and I'm the father. I have got a kid I didn't know about because I left his pregnant 19-year-old mom to take care of him on her own. Man, and then my brother doesn't even know about this. I'm not sure how I would react honestly. This situation is completely fucked. I don't even know what to tell him. Or how to prepare for how he'll react. She thinks we should tell him together and get the whole truth out. Ally's scared to tell him too. My son was 4 when they met, but she never told my brother much about who the father was. Scared about losing my brother, scared that I'm a father and have a son. Don't know how it'll work becoming involved in my son's life because I definitely plan to. And how that would affect their marriage. Is there really any good way to talk to my brother about it? At least in a way where it doesn't hurt our relationship too badly or their marriage. AITA for getting upset that my wife would sleep with my brother when I asked. I have a non-identical twin brother named Justin. I'm under no illusion that he's the better looking between us. He's a great guy, if not a bit philandering. Since we were bored yesterday, we video called my friend Daniel and his wife and we just caught up with each other over a couple glasses of wine. We eventually got to playing this game where someone asks a question and we all answer. I asked everyone who their cheat pass, someone you would cheat with if allowed, is, and everyone gave celebrities crushes as expected, except my loving wife. She first asked about specifics. Whether it was just a one-time thing, the whole night, or a fling. We all agreed on whole night and then she blurted, then Justin. OMG, we'd fuck all night long. We all broke into laughter because we thought she was talking about Justin Bieber. Daniel then made a comment about Timberlake being better than Bieber and my wife clarified that she actually meant my brother. Like WTF. Obviously things got awkward so they ended the call and we got into a fight over it. She said I shouldn't be angry because I was the one who asked her and now I'm judging her truthful answer. I spent the night in the guest room and even this morning she was completely unapologetic and said I should be the one apologizing for being an ass last night and judging her truth. AITA. Asterisk changed J to Daniel because of confusion. Update, I approached her very calmly and tried to go into it with an understanding approach, but she wasn't with it. I made the comparison of me saying my female co-worker, who I have no attraction with, is my cheat pass during that game and asked her how she felt about it. She bit me off and said I could say and do whatever I want. Safe to say things aren't patched up but there's always tomorrow.